When you're opening up a store, it seems like a very daunting process. There's signage, there's renovations, there's countertops and registers and all these things that go in part with opening up your first store. This was a very old building. I mean, it's almost 100 years old now, and so we needed to hire contractors to change out the plumbing, add in electrical, change some of the electrical, and just update the building altogether to make it fresh and new. We wanted to build not just a store, but a store with atmosphere and character, because we wanted to draw and attract people to the downtown area. There's a lot of cities that have downtown areas that are not utilized, that aren't bustling, that don't have these really great local stores. And Lethbridge is so unique, where we have really worked hard to revitalize the downtown. And now it's become a hub of life within the city again. And the grant only helped us achieve that, because we were able to achieve the vision that we had.
We'd heard about the city grants through actually our realtor initially, and then the companies that we talked to for kind of the building retrofit and renovations were also aware of some of these. But after our realtor had mentioned it, that there are some city grants and considerations given for reusing buildings in the city, that's really where we started to look at the city website and noticed that this particular property was well qualified to meet a number of grant opportunities for our city. We'd been looking for some time for property to do a new build in the city, but property prices have gone up. New build construction prices through the pandemic have gone up as materials costs have gone up. So this was actually a really nice fit for us, and the grants really allowed us to have a great help as we look at servicing the debt moving forward and dealing with the cost of construction for us. I think this is a very productive thing to have. When you look at a business like ours, where we've got a necessary service that's here, we're happy to be in 3rd Avenue. I think there have been positive changes, as I mentioned before, with the neighborhood kind of revitalizing here. So I think the grant had a lot to do with us even being able to complete our renovation here, and choosing this as a site, knowing that we would have those grant dollars available, certainly pulled us to this specific location rather than building off in one of the newer kind of more peripheral locations. Certainly we have a lot of gratitude for City Council for providing this program, and I think it's a very valuable program to have.
Building had been available for quite a while, and we looked at it and we loved the location. We loved the floors and just the room in general, the big windows and that. From a business owner's perspective, it really opens some doors, and there's so much potential in this city, I think, and sometimes you just need that extra push, that extra incentive to pull the trigger on something. The grants made it very realistic possibility to do it and to pull it off, because it was a pretty big venture going into it. The probability of this working out in a positive sense for us increases. It makes that decision a little bit easier. And from a city's perspective, these kind of moves are very important. I think using these spaces that otherwise they're just sitting there and just taking up space. But if you can provide people with that incentive to do these things, like we've done, I think that's a win for the city and win for the business owner.
We originally were looking at this property, and one of the more appealing factors towards buying it and purchasing and moving our business here was the grant money. Knowing that we had some help in the humongous renovation that we had to undergo, it made it worth it. The grant process was actually very seamless and very straightforward. Andrew did a fantastic job meeting with me and my contractor on a regular basis throughout the construction process, just to kind of keep us updated on what we needed for invoicing, what we needed to show on our grant process and approvals. Honestly, it was a very seamless process.
When you buy an old building in the downtown or anywhere in the city, really, it's not as profitable or even actually profitable at all if you fix that building up and rent it out. It's cheaper to buy a piece of land on the edge of the city and throw up a brand new building, and that makes more economic sense. The other thing, people might not realize is this building here is over 100 years old. When it was built, there wasn't even any building codes. And so a lot of things had to be upgraded to the new codes. That costs money, and it takes time and money. And we got a lot of buildings inside town that need to be rejuvenated. I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for the city. I'm grateful for council for what the foresight that they had in seeing that these programs are an investment in the future, that once they pay off, they just keep paying off. It's win-win-win.
Well, speaking directly to council, I was on the BRZ, I was the chair of the BRZ, and I was the BRZ representative on the heart of our city for a number of years. And I sat through many meetings where the threshold of these grants were so high that nobody was applying. And through reassessing these grants and opening up the barriers, it allowed, from what I've heard, many businesses to apply and receive the grant funding on it. So it shows that these programs are usable and are necessary for our community. Funds and programs like this really do help business owners reinvest into their business, and with the parameters and with the criteria of what the city has set up for it, it allows us all to kind of work together on maintaining our properties.
Originally I had plans to build a patio when I did the restaurant, and there was quite a bit of construction happening at the hotel at the time, and it took a while before I could get approval, and eventually I kind of decided I wouldn't actually build a patio, and decided that perhaps that wasn't an investment I was prepared to make at this time. So that all changed kind of when I saw the grant funding that was available from the city for improvements to the downtown and to businesses. So once I looked into it a little bit more, I realized what an incredible opportunity it was. So I changed my mind and I designed a new patio, one that made a little bit more sense, a little bit smaller, and the granting was incredible. It's always difficult when you build a new business and you invest a lot of money. You're never really sure what that return on investment is going to look like. And so seeing the grant and the availability of the grant allowed me to kind of reimagine what I could do out here and how I could make a affordable investment that was also being supplemented by this grant. And it just was a home run. The patio just has added another layer of opportunity for guests to come in and enjoy an Italian table outdoors. So wonderful street appeal. I think it's really helped the property and it's really improved downtown. I think revitalizing and continuing to focus on how we improve our downtown core, it's imperative. And I think that there's been many initiatives over the years, and I think you just got to keep trying to work and test these initiatives to see which ones really stick and which ones really make a big difference. And my personal experience, again, I can't express how big of a deal it was and what a great opportunity it was for us to be able to look at the revitalization and the efforts that are going into it from our city and say, way to go, well done.
So a project of this magnitude obviously has a large budget and a large timeline. When reviewing grants and support from the City of Lethbridge, we could focus on certain extras, certain enhancements, or channel attention to certain key areas that the city is trying to highlight and promote, and we definitely took those into consideration for this project. I think the City of Lethbridge has been very intelligent in ensuring that grants are attracting or targeting the types of improvements that they want to see in the downtown. And I think that's something, if they want to continue to see that advancement and those improvements, targeting dollars towards those key initiatives is helpful for all business owners. Thank you. Yeah, thank you to the team at Opportunity Lethbridge. We appreciate their partnership, their collaboration, and their interest in making sure that our projects succeed. Together, we make a better Lethbridge.